All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Target Talk. As always, we are your hosts. I'm Justin. I got Mike.
What up?
And today we got a special guest, fellow podcaster, Ray Anderson of Ray's Podcast. How are you doing today, man?
Man, good. Appreciate the invite, man. Thank y'all for letting me come on y'all platform. I've been seeing y'all come in the studio doing y'all thing, Keep it up, guys. Y'all are crushing it. You're doing some great content, great work, and glad to be able to talk with you guys today.
Oh man, we appreciate that, man. Yeah. And likewise, man. Every time we in here, you in here grinding. So.
Putting in the work for sure.
Putting in the work, man.
We'll just go ahead and jump right into the questions, man. Pretty simple one, maybe. Depends how you take it. Where did the idea to start a podcast come from? Everyone has a different story on how their podcast started. What is yours?
Oh, man, that's a story right there. Okay. So I'll try to give you the quick version of it. So I've always done like a bunch of events and stuff, and I've always built up a big book of contacts and clientele and things and friends of that nature. Had some friends, and it's kind of funny how this story, I'm going to tie everything in together. So I have a friend, Brad Hawkins. He was an actor in the 90s. He was on like VR Troopers. He was the voice of the Gold Power Rangers on Power Rangers. He's an anime voice for the Goblin Slayer or Goblin King or something like that. I can't remember. Don't butcher it, whatever. Anyways, he has a bar in the colony called the Shakertons, or called Shakertons rather. They were, trying to figure out how to get people to come in there, like kind of like watch Monday Night Football and stuff like that. At this point, I was still pretty tapped into the entertainment industry and field. I was like, what if I invite some people, well-known people to come out and they talk sports, they give their predictions and stuff, at halftime or before the game starts, do like a little talk or whatever. Then people watch the game there or whatever. Then from that idea turned into a podcast. Shout out to my guy, Jeray Williams, a.k.a. Ray Rock. Me and him had talked about it. I was like, man, we should start a sports podcast because me and him always talk sports like almost every day. We would call each other like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this? And this was like 2017, I want to say. Then finally, like one day, and I would say like 2019, 2018, probably like 2019, he's like, all right, I'm ready. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm ready to start the podcast. So sure enough, towards the end of 2019, we started gearing up to get ready to start doing a podcast. Beginning of 2020, we went on a guy, his name Rob the Insurer. He had a podcast. I'm not sure if he still has it or not, but we got featured on his podcast, and we started telling people, hey, we got our own podcast coming. And we started doing like little tours on podcasts to promote, hey, we're going to start our own podcast. Sure enough, February 23rd, 24th, 2020, we recorded our first episode of Ray's Podcast. Fast-tracked that now, 5 years later. Now it's just me. But, that's still one of my best friends. Life takes people in different directions. And I'm sorry for this long-winded answer. I do apologize. Life takes people in different directions. So, it's just me holding down the fort. But, I'm very thankful for him because I would not be here today if it was not for him. So I will always be grateful for him. But funny thing is, last year, I ended up doing a couple live events at Shakertons where we did live talks and live broadcasts. So it's funny how everything kind of came full circle, like not even thinking about it. And I just realized as I started telling the story, like, what's funny? My idea actually came from doing something with Shakertons and ended up actually doing something at Shakertons. So if you're ever in Arlington or Midtown or Prosper or the Colony and Allen, go check out Shakertons. Those good people there, by the way.
Yeah, that's crazy. It definitely came all full circle for you.
Long answer, but we got there some point. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's good. And you mentioned how you used to have another co-host. We've been in that position. How have you handled the change of just it being you?
Oh man, it's I felt like it became a lot more on my plate. But if you want something, you got to do whatever it takes to do it. On my show, Ray's Podcast, I always like to say these two things. If you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it. Consistency is the key to everything in life. You've got to be consistent with anything you're passionate about, anything you want to do, anything you want to achieve. You got to be consistent and keep it going. Like, you have to. It was bittersweet because I felt like it was a family, but I understand the circumstances because, me and Ray started together. Then we added another co-host. Her name was Amanda Ray. So it all kind of fitted her name.
Yeah.
Shout out Amanda Ray. Or Amanda had got married, and then she wanted family and stuff. So then where our studio was at the time, it wasn't in the best location. And the way the show was going when I first started, it just really wasn't the way she wanted it. And it's funny, I had brought her back as a guest when Ray was still with me. And she's like, this is the stuff I want to do when we originally started the podcast. I'm like, well, it just took us some time to get there. I'm sorry. We got there eventually. But did that. Then I had another co-host with Ray. We had this girl named Victoria Castillo. Shout out Victoria. She helped us. But, same thing. She didn't like really the location where the podcast was. And she's always had a busy schedule. She had her own modeling agency she ran and a bunch of different things. Then we added another co-host, this girl named Allison Marie. Shout out Allison Marie. She helped actually get my social media together, like the format. If you ever go on our page on Instagram, everything is like the aesthetic of it. She helped me like figure out, okay, you do this, do this, do this, do this. So it looks like, so it's like uniform. So you'll see a video, like a picture, a video. So I've been doing my best to keep that in order for you, Allison, because I know you worked hard on it. So when I upload, I'm very conscious of that when I upload that. But it takes a lot. Sometimes having a co-host, it really helps. But sometimes, losing co-hosts is not the worst thing in the world. Right. But sometimes I've seen people have messy breakups and stuff like that and fallouts. I'm grateful that it's never been the case. It's just everyone just went different directions in life. It's just what life is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like you said, as long as it's cordial, you can
for sure.
You can still call your people and talk to them. So,
like I said, me and Ray, we either text, IG, or talk to each other on the phone every day. Yeah. Especially like DK requested a trade. I'm like, bro, I know. Trust me, I know. And like, he just got like tapped in. He likes wrestling now.
Okay.
I've been a wrestling fan like my whole life, and like over the last couple of years, he's got back into it. Like, he loves, like, the whole Bloodline storyline. I don't know if y'all watch WWE or anything. But
that's what got me back into it.
Yeah,
Bloodline.
So that's what got him in it.
Yeah.
And I took him to a show recently because one of my friends, Tessa Blanchard, she wrestles in TNA. She was wrestling in a local show here, and him and his wife, I took them, and they loved it, man. It was amazing. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, man, how do you feel about John Cena turning heel?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's just, I love that awe and shock factor of it. It's like, what else more could you do? I don't know what they call the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community. It was like, there's no really good build to this year WrestleMania. It's kind of blah. There you go.
Yeah.
You got your excitement back. You're invested now to see what happens with this storyline. I loved it. I feel like this was the best, whatever you got, PLE, Premium Live Event. I feel like this is way better, in my opinion, than the Royal Rumble. I think it was way better than the Royal Rumble, in my opinion. I was like, this is amazing. Like, it started off with Jay coming in.
Mm-hmm. Attacking Naomi.
Like, then you had Randy Orton coming back, and that match with Sammy and Kevin. Like, the whole show, to me, was a great show from top to bottom. So, I'm ready for WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you mentioned you kind of started in the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. What did you do?
More of the question is, what didn't I do?
Okay.
So, when I was younger, I was involved in music, so I would do some stuff. I'd pop up at the radio station and stuff like that. Met a guy. He had a record company. Music has always been like one of my first loves, other than sports. They brought me in to be a part of their team. I was kind of like doing A&R, kind of like stuff, looking at talent, doing some things. He decided he wanted to be like Diddy, but no Diddy at the same time. He wanted to start his own vodka company.
Oh, okay.
Which he did. So basically, I took a role of basically doing whatever he told me to do. So one of my jobs was doing like a lot of the events and going out to different places, going out to concerts, like, hey, who could potentially get to be sponsoring and stuff like that. And I just built a book of contacts, just going out all the time, and you never know who you meet just going out, just having a drink with, and just those are some people sometimes you can meet and be lifelong friends with. Like my friend Ray, I was telling you about that. I started a podcast with. I met him. He was actually a bouncer at a nightclub, and that's how me and him became buddies. And that's almost 20 years later. We're still friends. So did some stuff to that. Did a bunch of events. The Super Bowl came to Dallas one year. I think it was Pittsburgh and Green Bay. I was I was one of the main people. I put together Jamie Foxx's Super Bowl party.
Okay.
I did that. I did some events for the All-Star Weekend that was here the year prior. So within the calendar year, we had, I think, 2 World Series here at that point. We had All-Star Game and a Super Bowl here in Dallas, and I was able to do a bunch of events and stuff with all that. And I was grateful for it. And over that, I just kept building clientele and stuff like that, building books and doing nightlife promotions and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what we did, Of course, all those different celebrities would come in, their managers. So, hey, if you ever need anything, here's my number, Just saving that contact for a later day, which comes in handy.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So besides your co-host change from when you started to current time today, what's been the biggest change that you've noticed with your podcast?
That is a great question. Trying to get people to transition over from audio to video. You've had some diehard podcasters out there. That's one thing, and I would say just keeping up with all the different trends and changes from the algorithm changes and things of that nature. So we started our podcast February 24th, 2020. We all know what happened a few weeks later, right? Pandemic. Yeah. Changed life forever. So all the people that had that free time, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast right now. Or, we had the push-up challenge or the take a shot challenge. We had all this. So all this stuff is being flooded on your social media pages. It's hard to get some constant growth and people see your stuff because it's just getting flooded because everyone's on social media. They had nothing else to do. Pretty much everyone binge watched stuff. If they weren't working, they were podcasting. There's really nothing you to do but to either tap into a side hustle or be creative. And I say the biggest change was during that time we were still audio. Let's see, I want to say end of 2021, right before 2022. That's when we swapped over to video, and that was hard in itself. That was hard in itself. Trying to because I used to do video editing back in high school, but I haven't used those skills in forever. So teaching yourself how to use those skills again, then it was just a lot to learn. It was a lot to learn. So when 2021 and beginning of 2022, we moved from the studio we were at in Deep Ellum to Hello Studios. And Hello Studios at the time was just straight audio.
Right.
At the time. So as I've grown, so has Hello Studios grown. So we've kind of grown together. Then I when we first started implementing video, that was the first time I started implementing video, and it was a lot to learn. It was a lot to learn. Then you teach yourself Premiere Pro, which is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm sure y'all can attest to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's just, I think the main thing is having to pick up other skills. Because it's not as simple as me, just uploading the audio, listening to it, cut what I need to cut, bada boom, bada bing, it's done. Right. However long the episode is, that was it. That's how long it took me to edit. No, that's boy. Only if y'all knew out there, if you knew about editing process. Trust me, I know these guys. I've seen them up here editing. So yeah.
Late nights, man.
Late nights. But I would just say, having to, learn different skills.
Yeah.
Being by yourself too. Not only am I the one editing it, not am I the only one booking the guests, coming up with the content, think about, what I want to ask people, posting the reels, cutting up reels, running a website. it's a lot for one person. It really is. So if you have a co-host, appreciate your co-host out there. Anyone out there watching this, because it is not an easy job unless you're gonna pay someone to do all this stuff. Which, good luck, because podcasting don't make a lot of money when you first start out.
That's right.
If any.
Spoiler alert, as they say. Yeah, it takes a minute for you to get some coins in this game. So
Yeah, for sure. But it's rewarding though.
it is.
Yeah.
It can be. It can be. I think one of the most rewarding things for me is when people are like, "Oh my God, I am blown away. It's not what I was expecting from this interview." One of my best friends, he came in and sat in on a podcast I did because I interviewed his stepdad, like dad to me too. His name's David Manning. He used to run a big wrestling promotion back in the day down here in Dallas. They used to have a sportatorium. And so I did an interview with David, and my friend, he's like, "Where did that come from?" He's like, "I didn't know you even had that in you." I'm like, because, people are different, like, outside of this.
Right.
From when I'm here, we're on. Okay, this is, when I'm with my friends, like, I just want to chill. I maybe don't feel like talking as much. Like, I just enjoying people's company.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're talking to people and interacting with people all the time, your social battery runs out. And a lot of times my social battery is out because, man, I'm just tired. And I'm pretty sure y'all could probably attest to that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I put it all on the floor when I'm in here, and then after that, I'm
afterwards, it's crickets, man. I'm like, "Hey, Mike, snoozing."
Do you have any podcasts that you look to as like influences or like podcasters?
Oh man, be completely honest with you, I really don't listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
I really don't. When I'm not doing my own podcast, I listen to a lot of music. And sports radio.
Okay.
I love sports.
Yes.
I love sports, mainly football. I'm not gonna talk about basketball right now because I'm still kind of hurt right now because I'm a Maverick fan.
I feel you.
So
sorry,
yeah, man, I love sports, man. I like wrestling, music. I'm a low key nerd. Not low key. I am a nerd. I am a nerd in my own right. But as far as other podcasts, man, I don't listen to other podcasts. It's just, I know it's weird to say. It's just not my,
Yeah.
I like doing it, but I don't like always listening to it. Now, if someone, like a friend of mine, yeah, I'm going to support. They say, check this out. Yeah, I'm going to listen to it because I'm going to support my people. But, you also have the line, what is considered a podcast now and what's considered a talk show and what's, sports talk. Everyone jumbles everything up into just one category podcast when it's not essentially podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I like listening to some of my friends, like, it goes by AOC, Attack on Cowboys. He's a great listen to. Law Nation Sports. If you like sports, just all things Cowboys, he's great for you too. So that's someone I listen to. They just started a new podcast. It's called The Unwanted Opinion with Tad Prescott, Micah Parsons, and Capers. They just started it. The 3 episodes in. They did an episode with Roy Williams of the Cowboys, and for some reason Roy had to delete his Instagram. So I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if someone had negative comments or what. We don't know, but yeah. I really listen to people like that. I do a lot of collabs with people and stuff with, and I check their stuff out. But as far as actual podcasts, I really don't.
You just do your own thing.
Yeah, I just do my own thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do need to look. I will tell this to someone, but sometimes you do need to look. I don't want to say look at your competition, but people that do stuff similar to you, so you can maybe pick up some things. I'm not saying like steal anything like that, but see, okay, what am I doing wrong? Or what technique are they doing that? It's always good to study that. Going to YouTube University, I like to call it, and just look at stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You mentioned Law Nation. You have a show, Crosstalk, with Law Nation. How did that come together?
Well, we had a show called Crosstalk.
Oh.
We're gonna, because we gotta rename it.
Okay.
It's gonna be something. There's gonna be something different. We don't know where it's gonna be going right now because a bunch of us are kind of all working together. But right now they have a show which I think is actually live right now. It's AOC, which is Attack on Cowboys, Law Nation, Foots, and John Machota.
Okay.
They do something called the Cowboys Collective. They got that going on. Then on Mondays, I believe Law and AOC they go live together. We're just trying to figure out which direction we're going to take it before we bounce back on it. We also got some events we're working on for the draft. I'll let y'all know that once everything gets ironed out. But it'll be coming back, but it's going to be for a different name because a lot of people use the term crosstalk. So I'm like, all right, we got to come up with something different because I know someone at the Cowboys, they have something that's called something crosstalk. I can't remember crosstalk at the store. I can't remember what it's called. So I was like, all right, there's too many people that use that. We got to figure out something else and figure out who all we're going to be involved because it's not only just Law and myself. We work with some other people as well too. So
Yeah.
we always want to keep that open.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Now, though, you do have a new segment called Shout Out.
Okay.
See, we pay attention.
All right. All right.
So tell us about that segment and what kind of inspired you to make that a part of your show.
So I had been looking for some other type of content to put out. And I've always thought about having like a segment like that where I could, shout out like different music artists and stuff like that. As we all know, content is king in this world. The more content you put out, the better. Especially with, the crosstalk, we weren't doing that as frequent anymore. So like I said, if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see, a video, a picture, video. So the picture is a flyer. So a flyer from the episode I did with the guest, and above that is a flyer from either a crosstalk episode or something like that. Or I used to do a segment on my show. It was called Lyrically Correct. Mm-hmm. People, shout out Lyrically Correct, by the way. Really, really amazing people. It's a black-owned music trivia card game that they have. They've got so many different editions of it. I was sponsored by them, and that particular segment would be Lyrically Correct, which I didn't even put that in the show anymore. I just made it its own little separate video. So if you go on my YouTube page, you see Lyrically Correct video playlist. It's where I'd have artists come on, and I would ask them, finish the lyric, or what was this person doing in this song, things of that nature. So I needed something to fill that void. I was like, I've always wanted to do shout out. I work with a lot of musical artists, and I'm tapped in with a lot of people in the music industry. I'm like, well, this only makes the most sense. So that's really where that came from. But it's not going to only be just music art. It's been nothing but music artists lately, but I want to do that also, too, for, like, some clothing designers and probably do some restaurants and stuff like that. But, that's where it came up. It's 5 years of Ray Ray's podcast. So, like, let's do something, that I've always wanted to do. So that's pretty much where it came from.
Wow.
Do you have anybody you want to shout out today, right now?
Oh, Mama, I love you. POP holding it down, baby. Pimp Squad, click for life. Man, I gotta shout out a bunch of people, man. I gotta shout out my family for real. They support me in everything we do. I have a great support system. I gotta show love for them. Shout out to one of my best friends, Katie. Katie, sometimes she helps me with do graphics. She was a video commercial, like she did director and produce commercials and stuff. So she's always been teaching me techniques. I've been using a thing called After Effects, which is a beast in itself. She's been helping me learn a bunch of different things. Shout out my guy, Paul. He's helping me do some of these graphics for the draft that I'm working on. Shout out Right on Target for letting me be on the show today. Got to shout you guys out. Of course, Hello Studio. That's family for life. We tapped in forever. Shout out my guy, Tad Prescott. My guy, Terrence Parsons Jr., Law Nation, Attack on Cowboys. I'm probably forgetting some people, Oh, my friends at Hoodless, HDLLSS. Go check that out. It's basically a hoodie without the hood, so it's called Hoodless. Check them out. They got some amazing stuff. Lit Vacations. Check them out, man. They do amazing things. One of my best friends, Austin, shout out, bro. So I know it's a lot of shout outs. I feel like one of the black rappers at an award show right now. First, I want to thank God and my mama, give it up.
Brought 20 people on stage.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. Well, as a podcaster, man, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a podcast?
Make sure it's something you want to do. Make sure you're passionate about it. Just know you're not going to make a lot of money off the rip. Just know that. It ain't easy as just pressing a button and talking and recording. There's way more that goes into it. It's a lot more strategy, even more so nowadays because it's more and more podcasts keep coming. Like I said, I've been in Hello Studios for almost 5 years, 4 or 5 years now, and the amount of people I've seen come and go is a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do it, you got to be consistent. Even when you don't feel like recording or editing anything, you got to do it because you're just going to be a dead fish, You're going to be a dead fish just flopping around. You got to stay consistent. And that's something I even struggle with myself because sometimes I don't feel good. I'm tired, but I still got to stay up and get that edit finished so I can get it out the next morning. Or it's a lot. So I always say if you're going to do that, make sure you're not trying to get no get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
You're not going to get viral overnight.
No.
Don't be on there trying to talk about stuff you have no business talking about, like these guys that get LLCs and think they know everything about business, or just because you're a woman and a man, you can't be talking about dating. Which that's the worst thing. I'm tired of hearing that shit on podcasts. I'm tired of that and the fucking balloon pop shit. Like I am tired of that.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, men need women, women need men. Figure this shit out. Like let's get together. But just know it's gonna take a lot of work. I say the average podcast, the average amount of time it takes a podcast to pop off is about 5 years.
Yeah.
That's if you don't have a miracle beforehand. Yeah. Know your audience, I would say too. Don't kill your channel, and that's something I'm having to work with right now. I'm having to separate my channel from my entertainment stuff to my sports stuff because sometimes some people will subscribe to you for something you did sports related. But then when you post something else, like, what is this? I don't care to see this anymore. So you're just killing yourself. So that's something I'm learning and deal with, which I'm in the process of making a new channel as we speak. For this new Cowboys video I'm about to post, which is about to be fire. Man, that's going to be some heat. Y'all about to hear when this drops. I think that's the main thing. And like I said, just, know what you want, know what you want to talk about. Be really educated of what you're going to be talking about. That's really all I can say is just know you got to put in the work. It's hard. It is hard. And it ain't cheap either. Especially if you try to do it yourself or you try to rent out studio space. You're gonna come out some bread. You'll come out some bread way more than you're gonna make some bread. So be sure that's something you want to invest in because you ain't gonna get that money back.
No.
Or that time. Boy.
Yeah.
Oh no, people see other people go viral on TikTok and think everybody's like that. That is not how this works.
I'm gonna post this and it's gonna go crazy.
That is not how it works. You got
20 views.
Yeah.
There's probably 10 million people with that same mindset and idea as you. Good luck, bud. Good luck.
You've had a lot of great guests on your shows. I know that's one of the biggest things. What's your approach to networking and booking your guests?
Oh man, that's a good question. Some of it is from a lot of network I've done, and I don't know. This may sound weird. It's just how I'm feeling at the time. What's my vibe? Like, who do I want to interview? I look for people to interview a lot of times. Then I have a lot of people approach me, like, "Hey, I got this person to be a good interview." Depending on who the source is, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take you up," and it just happens. I've been preaching this all year on the show. Relationships are very important. Relationships are very important. People will remember how you treated them and if you did them right, if you did them wrong. Having a good relationship with certain people could help get you indoors. Your talent may not be there yet, but just because you are who you are as a person, your credibility as a person, your integrity will get you in some doors faster than your talent can.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, talent is important, but how you treat people, I think, is the most important thing. What do we say credit is? Credit is history based off what you did with finances. That's how you get your score. I feel like it's the same thing with relationships. How have you treated people? For me, I'm a talker when it comes to people. I feel like I'm a people person. I can connect with almost anybody, and if you're always genuine with that, a lot of people can feel that. Yeah. And so that's that. Then I have a lot of people approach me like, "Hey, I should be on your show." I'm like, "You should be on my show." Are you asking me, or are you telling me you should be on my show? Those really don't go too over with me very well because I'm like, no, bro. Like, I don't like that. Like, hey, you have me on your show. Okay, why do I need to have you on your show? Explain to me. Let's talk about this real quick. Why should I have you on my show? Like, because you gotta think, once you also build a platform, a lot of people want to use your platform to help them, which is nothing wrong with that. That is nothing wrong to help get someone to jump off, off your platform. But sometimes, how many more people can you do that? Like, all right, I'm trying to grow my thing here. If you really don't have a following, how am I going to be able to grow? That's the main reason why I feel like my show is a guest-driven show. One, because I know a lot of people, I've met a lot of people, but also I'm able to tap into other people's audiences. I may do an interview with someone that they love, and it's like, this guy did a great interview with them. I'm going to watch more. That's a new audience I've just been opened up to. So that's the reason why I guess I do so many guests. But sometimes, like I said, they can kind of kill your channel because I can interview someone that's in this field that it does great numbers, and I do someone that's big in this field, but that may not be that many numbers. But it really is a filling out process. I got to kind of fill out someone. I look at someone's Instagram page too. I'm like, you got a lot of fugazi Instagram pages right there. You can tell, like, you done paid for that. Yep. I could tell that's not authentic. Yep.
Yeah.
Let me go to your YouTube. Okay, let's match it up. You got this. Those numbers kind of match out. You got to look at that. Yeah. Because people be buying these with the blue check marks and stuff. I'm like, why do you have a blue check mark? Yeah. Who are you? like, who are you? I'm not trying to be rude or mean like that. I'm like, who are you? Like, for me, I always said, like, I would never buy a blue check mark. If I earn it, cool. I'm not going to go out there like, I want to pay to have my stuff. What are we doing here? Like, what are you trying to present yourself as? Like, don't put out a fake facade.
Yeah.
You have to be authentic. And that's what I'm saying with relationships. People really respect people when they're authentic. And that's what I try to be. I try to be authentic and just keep it a buck with people.
Yeah. Have you ever had an interview that didn't go the way you expected? I'm sure you got plenty.
Oh, boy. Oh, my gosh. This person may even get mad. I don't even shit. Whatever. We're in our earlier stages of our show where we were just audio. We had this guy come on, and he said he was a singer. I was like, well, you want to sing something for us? Oh, boy. You could only imagine. And I'm the type of person, my facial expressions, I can't hide them. Even I don't want it to look like that, but I can't hide them. Yeah, I was like, we're just going to cut this out of the interview here. We're just going to cut this all together out of the interview. That's one. Oh, man. Our very first episode, I flew in from Colorado. I just touched down back in Dallas. I was like, all right, I went to the studio, met my business partner at the time. We had a friend of ours. Her name was Kat Joya. She does a bunch of stuff on social media. She's a really, really sweet girl. When she gets lit, though, oh, man. So her and this girl named Nicolette, they were our first guests on the show. And I asked them, I was like, so what attracts y'all to a guy? This is not even 5 minutes of the episode. I have to picture myself sucking his cock. I'm like, I'm like, hey, yo. Me and Ray, other Ray looked at each other like, yo, is this what's really going down right now? Like, this is not what we were expecting. And that has always been infamous. Yeah. That one has been one recently. I did one with a Highland Star, artist signed by Little Baby. He called himself the new king of R&B. Kind of called out Jacquees. I was like, if you could do a versus with any artist, she's like, Jacquees. I didn't even get the question out. It's like, Jacquees. I'm like, all right. So that was interesting, in which he actually took a clip out. He's like, I'm the new king of R&B. And I was like, well, I guess we got to get Bobby Brown to give you the crown. Or whatever. I can't remember what I said. They took that little clip and put it in a song of me seeing it. So that's been really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, there are so many. There are so many I can think of. One of my good friends, Steve Cardenas, he was Rocky on the Power Rangers. That was a good hit. That was hilarious. It's so many because I'm over 150 episodes deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you gotta think over time, man. It's a lot. One that was really good. Ray, love you, bro. We had a co-host also named Amanda Ray. So we did like a birthday episode for her. We decorated the studio. We had my buddy Louis the singer, which he's huge now. Louis the singer, Hispanic artist, the guy does country, and he got signed to Universal Music. Huge guy. He was on this episode, and we're telling a story about how me and Ray were trying to set up the room and everything and decorate it. We're two dudes. We know about decorating, right? Yeah. And so the day before, we had to go to Target and a bunch of different areas, Party City. So this is right, everything's open up from the pandemic. That's when they had like, what is it? Like a crime lab in restaurants, those little fucking screens and stuff, dividing the tables and shit, like biohazard stuff like that, or whatever. It looked like that. So we go to this Macero's, a Hispanic restaurant, right? So this story is on my YouTube. It's the audio, but it's hilarious. It's about 7-8 minute listen, but it's worth it. So he ordered something called the Big D Wagyu. He thought it was like a burger or something. It was a big ass chili dog. Long story short, his stomach started messing up, and some things happened after that. Great story. Go back and listen to Big D Wagyu, a little story or his podcast. You will laugh your ass off. That was very memorable, but there's so many memories. Man, it's amazing.
That's great.
That's the cool thing about having a co-host. Memories you can make with someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you mentioned a lot about your love for music and the artists that you've had on your shows. What are some of your favorite artists that are out there right now?
Some of my favorite artists right now. Favorite rapper, not my favorite rapper, but one of my favorite rappers, K Camp. Love K Camp's music. K Camp, K Camp heavy. Wale. I'm a big Wale fan. Yeah. Like I said, I told you I'm a nerd. I think Wale's a nerd too. Like,
yeah.
He does this thing called Wale Mania doing wrestling. It's amazing. Definitely y'all should go check that out. Love him. Try to think. My guy Sequence Clark. I just did a shout out segment with him. Go check out his music. He's an R&B singer and writer. He wrote for like Justin Timberlake, Eric Bellinger, some other big name people. Like with him too. My guy Katie the singer. He lives out here locally. He's got some great stuff. I really, really rock with him. Shout out to Crystal Poppin. I just did an interview with her. She's a Latina hip hop artist. Really crushing it. She did the theme song for Tessa Blanchard.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
The wrestler in TNA.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of like tapped in together. I'm trying to think who else. I love all things R&B.
Wow.
So R&B is, I love R&B. I love rap, don't get me wrong, but I love R&B over rap any day of the week. I can't think right now. I would have to go through like my whole playlist right now. Yeah, but those are people that really come to mind right now. Yeah.
Who's like your R&B GOAT? Like, best of all time? Is it an answer you can't say on my...
I'm going to say it. But people may not agree with me. Separating the music apart.
Okay, yeah.
R. Kelly is the greatest R&B. He's the king of R&B. He really is. Like, what he did in his personal life is terrible. It was horrific. Yeah. Horrific. There's no way around it. But that music, I'm not even talking about his music. You got to think about all the hits he's given to other people.
He made for others, yeah.
Your favorite gospel artist probably has an R. Kelly song.
Yeah.
If you look at it too, country artists, people, R. Kelly wrote for a lot of people. If you really dive deep into his catalog of things he wrote or produced or had his hand in, like, that's undeniable.
Yeah.
I hate that talent got wasted.
Yeah.
But so so many people, they went and got that R. Kelly rub. Pause. Pause. But they needed that R. Kelly. Okay, something. The song is missing something. Kels, we need you to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard the story about. Have you heard the song "I'm a Flirt"?
Yeah.
Okay, so "I'm a Flirt" was originally on Bow Wow's album called
he
"Wanted."
he was on the remix or something, right? Yeah.
He was on the original.
Oh, okay.
He was on the original, so this is a real quick story. So Bow Wow wanted that to be his lead single, but JD and them on there were like, no, or whatever. Something happened, and R. Kelly was all right, bet. So he released it as his own and just put remix on it. They couldn't do anything because it's a remix to the song. And of course, that didn't get bigger than the original album version that's on Bow Wow. But yeah, go check out Bow Wow. It's Bow Wow and R. Kelly on the original.
On the Wanted album?
I think it's the Wanted album.
Okay.
I'm a Flirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many stories like that. If you listen to when Marcus Houston started getting big as a solo artist, he had this song called "In the Club" or "Up in the Club" or something like that.
With Joe Budden on there.
With Joe Budden, we be up in the club. Like, that's R. Kelly on that. B2K's, a lot of their stuff. That was R. Kelly. Like
the Girlfriend remix. That went platinum in my house.
What else he did? What a Girl Wants. I think R. Kelly did that one. I don't know if he did. Gotta be. I think his name was the Pied Piper. So he was leaving breadcrumbs for y'all. But anyways, let's hear or there. The stuff he did with the Isley Brothers and Kelly. Why was Ron Isley always getting cheated on? That's another question. No, that's for another day. But a lot of your favorite R&B songs in that era, R. Kelly had a hand in it. Yeah. But I know everyone's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They speak for himself. Yeah. Do I agree with what he did? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I'm still listening to R. Kelly. I don't care. You do what you do. You're an adult.
Yeah.
You got the power to choose.
Yeah. Plus, at the end of the day, man, he don't own his publishing, so he ain't getting paid off of that anyway. So
terrible.
Yeah, I don't know who got over on him, but they took advantage of him not being able to read. And but I guess it evens out.
It ended up working out for them.
Yeah, it ended up working out for them.
Oh well, you're a Cowboys fan, right? We're all Cowboys fans here.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What's the feeling going into this next season, man? We got a new head coach.
I'm extremely optimistic.
Okay.
Just by listening to him talk, okay? The coaching staff he put together, unlike what McCarthy did in his first year here, he hired all his friends who can do shit. Sorry if I'm not supposed.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
Like who? Why was Mike Nolan the defensive coordinator? Like that made no sense.
Yeah.
He didn't even finish out the year. I don't think as a DC. Like it was so bad. But the staff that he's putting together, and he tapped into the college game to bring some prominent college coaches to be on his staff. That should give you a leg up also, too, when it comes to scouting and drafting. That's going to help, too. I'm going to say something that may be controversial. I don't think the Cowboys organization really believed in Mike McCarthy. I don't think they really did, to be honest. Yeah. And from what I was told, Stephen Jones never wanted Mike McCarthy. Jerry did. So you always have that. So you already had people in the organization that really didn't want Mike here.
Right.
Then you start off your press conference like, oh, I really didn't watch all the video. Like, bro, you just said that. Bro, you just lied and just... So that rubbed people the wrong way. Here's the thing, too. We're seeing what the Cowboys are doing already in free agency. Already making moves, flipping contract restructures. Yep. I think they believe in Schottenheimer. All right? I think if they believed in Mike McCarthy, they would have did the same thing. Went and got the money. Would have went out and spend. Why would I spend this money on players and you don't know what to do with them? Like, why would we do that? That's kind of my point of view, Yeah. But I'm very impressed with Schottenheimer's, like his demeanor. I feel like he's a genuine person, and I don't think he's a yes man.
Oh yeah.
I think he's gonna make it be clear. Okay, this is what we need. This is what I need to make this happen. Let's go figure it out. I feel like Mike McCarthy was like, sure, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
no problem. Then like we keep hearing about a lot of the clashes they were having, like Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore, and maybe there were some clashes with Schottenheimer and McCarthy. There's some things Schottenheimer I think he wanted to do, but Mike McCarthy was so archaic in his play calling
Yeah.
that they weren't able to execute. I think we're going to get back to the run game, but I think that's also going to benefit the passing game too. You definitely got to address a wide receiver too. That's definitely got to be addressed.
Yeah.
But as far as Schottenheimer, I'm very optimistic, and for the Cowboys to get in front of these deals the way they have, like getting Osa done, not dragging their feet on that.
Yeah.
That was, to me, that's impressive. That's not what we've known over the last few years with the Cowboys. I feel like Brandon Carr scared them away from spending big money in free agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zeke too. Well, not free agency, but contract.
Well, contract wise,
They
that
don't
was,
pay nobody.
but that was their fault. They let that dude hold them up.
Yeah.
They had, like, no, bro, you can play out your contract.
Yeah.
We can find you every day. No, they didn't. They gave in.
They rushed that.
They
yeah.
gave in. I would have like, all right, bro, see you.
Yeah.
See you. Like that's what I did. Pay them fines. That's on you. You'll come back. And to compare it, that's kind of like Emmitt Smith. I think they were trying to avoid an Emmitt Smith situation because I don't even remember Emmitt Smith holdout went into the regular season a couple games, and finally they paid him, and
Yeah.
rest is history.
Yeah.
But I think they got afraid of that. But I really think this could be a good year. Now let's see what else they do with all this money they freed up. I think you should take part of that money you freed up. Go ahead and get ahead of Tyler Smith.
Yep.
Get that deal done. Sign Brandon Aubrey to a deal. I don't know. Maybe I want to say like big name free agents, but go get something that's reasonable. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to Amari Cooper coming back.
As a wide receiver too, nah.
Spending $12 million a year. I spend $13 million a year for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett too. He just got released.
Yeah.
Lockett got released.
But I feel like, honestly, I know this is going to be a pipe dream, but the perfect person to complement CD, I think, would be DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be the perfect person on the side of CD. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And if you can get him for like a third-round pick, you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to find in the third round? DK Metcalf. I think I'll take DK
Exactly.
Metcalf.
yeah.
Anything more than that, man, I may be willing to give up a second, too, for a DK. I may be willing to give up a second.
Second is we pushing.
You're gonna have to get something back.
If you don't
Yeah.
here's the thing. My dream is Ted McMillan to be there at 12. That's my 1A. 1B is Ashton Genty.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'm there.
I'm
I'm 1B. I had talked myself out of Ashton Genty. Then I talked myself back into it. Then I talked myself out of it again.
Yeah.
Just because of this running back class. It's a loaded running back class.
Yeah.
Tet is my 1A. Now, this is my super pipe dream 1A and second round pick. My first 1A would be Tet, and then second round on Marion Hampton. But he made himself some dollars. He went up the draft board. You can probably go get 2 running backs to go in the first round this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I was asking the guys earlier, Tad Prescott and them, I was like, is there a third running back you think they can sneak into the first round? I'm not quite sure, but you never know.
Yeah.
Someone may not want to wait to day 2 to try to get their back they want. Like I feel like a lot of teams have already got scared away from Caleb Johnson because of that 4.640 time.
Yeah.
But I tell people, man, it ain't everything, bro. That ain't everything.
It's not.
But look at the film, but I know this answer is long, and I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro.
Nah, you good, bro?
You got to see what they do in the draft.
Yeah.
If they have a killer draft, I mean, because we got to knock it out because our last couple of drafts have not been
Nah.
so great. And when you're a team, you build your team based on drafting well. When you have a couple drafts consecutively where you didn't do that good at drafting, that hurts you if you're not signing outside free agents. But I would go out. There's some guys out there I feel like you can get for budget deals. Like I think it's Dre Kinlaw. You go out there get him. I don't think he's gonna cost you a lot of money. He could be a rotational defensive tackle. You need a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendricks is a free agent. Overshawn's hurt. He's gonna be coming back from injury.
Yep.
You got Leah Fowl and Damone Clark right now as your as your linebackers right now. So you got to address linebacker at some point. You need to get something a one tech because Monty ain't cutting it right now.
Nah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can make this jump, but it takes about 3 years. They said for defensive tackles really to get their groove in this league. So hopefully he builds on. He was building on towards the end of last year. He was building, but let's see what he does. But I would still address that. Like Sheldon Rankins is the name I like out there at defensive tackle. Was it Kinlaw? There's another Kinlaw, right? No, that's Green. I got the names
Greenlaw,
confused. Greenlaw, and you have Kinlaw. Which one is the linebacker? I think Kinlaw is the linebacker, and Greenlaw is the DT. That's someone I would look at. I was like Sheldon Rankins. May not be too expensive. Receiver. That's a glaring hole.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I feel like this offense lived and died by CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lived and died by CD. Someone said, you know, a person who, I think Terrence Parsons Jr. told me this. The person he think would be perfect here is Nick Chubb.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I can see that if we don't
I think
draft.
here's the thing. I think Rico may price himself out of Dallas. I think somebody may be willing to spend.
Yeah.
But if you get Rico back on a reasonable deal and have a good rookie running back,
Yeah.
ring
That's
ain't
all you.
good.
That's all you need right there.
That's all you need.
Yeah, because Rico, he really started to get his groove towards the end of the season. I mean, it was already a wash at that point, but
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have anybody really except for
Deuce.
Zeus. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And we need something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run game's been terrible. That's why Dak, he's great. He's a good quarterback, but you leave it just the passing game, they're going to figure that out quick.
And when our passing game is just CD.
And then when it's one
Easy to
dimensional,
game plan.
literally.
Yeah.
One of the things also we got to pray for, we got to get a bounce back year from Jake Ferg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he got hurt.
Yeah, you got to get him to come back, bounce back. You know, Schoolmaker was obviously starting to grow on me.
Yeah.
At first, when he got drafted, I was like, who?
Yeah.
Was the Snoop Dogg meme, who?
Yeah.
I was like, what? I'm like, why are we drafting the tight end right now? Like, but I think when we drafted him there, we really didn't exactly know what we had in Jake Ferg.
Yeah.
And that was the year Jake Ferg really broke out, was when we drafted School. But I feel like that pick could have been something different.
Yeah.
But we don't know. Time will tell. If you ever want to do a deep dive, look at the lack of success the Cowboys have had over the last 25 years in the second round. Not great.
Yeah.
It is not great at all.
I'm sure it's scary to look at.
I think there's a couple of verdict. You still got the verdict out on 3 players: Schoonmaker, Nealon, and Sam Williams. So, not including him, you may have 4 hits out of the last 25 years.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. But if you look at the NFL in whole, like the success rate of second round picks is not that great. Most of the league is not comprised of second round picks. If you really take a deep dive on it,
Yeah.
it's really something you go take a look at if you ever have free time. But I'm excited. You know, free agency starts next week. I'm not saying we could go out and get all the big spending free agents, but there's some good ones. If y'all got time, y'all should go to NFL.com and tell me what y'all think about this list. They listed their top free agents going into free agency. Tell me what y'all think about that list. I was really surprised when I saw that. I was like, really?
Pull it up.
I got you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it up. I was looking at that. I was like, this is an interesting list. It's not what I thought it was going to be, but you had a lot of guys already get deals done, like Osa, so you knocked him off the board. He would have definitely been probably top 10.
Yeah.
I think he was like, there's a team, social media page of the 33rd team. I think they had him up there as one of the top free agents going into it. But, yeah, you should take a look at this list.
Oh, it's 101.
I didn't go through all that.
Yeah,
I
no, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go.
Let's go to the top.
I didn't go through all that. I went through like maybe like the top 20 or something like that.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Milton Bradley was
Milton Williams.
Milton
He's
Williams was the number
right
one.
here.
Okay.
Ronnie Stanley's number 2. Sam Darnold too, man. You know, now he's a free agent. We'll see. Get Chris Godwin. Yeah, they got some good. They got some good players.
I think Chris Godwin's cooked.
You think so?
I don't know. I could be wrong, but them injuries like that,
Yeah.
there's a reason why Tampa Bay didn't already re-sign him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
They probably already know. They'll probably let them walk.
What do you think about that list?
It's an interesting list. Interesting to look Khalil Mack's on here. I didn't even know that. He's 34. You'd stay away from that. That's a Cowboys move right now.
I would welcome it. I would welcome it for sure. Read off like the top 11. 10 and 11 intrigue me for Dallas.
Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper.
Those are number 10 and 11 on that list.
Yeah.
One of those would intrigue me in Dallas, and still draft a receiver. Like, that's not going to stop you from drafting a receiver.
Yeah.
You just have that veteran to help groom.
Yeah.
Because I think right now, in Dallas, right now we don't have CD is the veteran receiver right now in the room because Brandon Cooks is a free agent.
Yeah. True.
If you get someone else, let me show you what I can do to help you. Because CD is the big dog. He's only been in the league, 4 years, 5 years now?
Yeah.
Yep.
He shouldn't be the OG in the wide receiver room.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He shouldn't. Well, we don't even talk about that. There's to be someone that still be here as the OG in the receiver room, but that's another debate for another day.
There's like 3 corners on this list too that we don't really necessarily need that too bad, but depth is never a bad thing.
And that's the thing. If I'm Dallas and this money, these restructures we did, I'm gonna go ahead and get Deron Bland re-signed now while his price is low.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get Tyler Smith, Brandon Aubrey, get those deals done now while you have the cap space.
Yeah.
Then that doesn't stop you from getting Micah's deal done because Micah's deal is just going to give you more money once you get it done.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
But I think it's already been accounted for. But they got $20 million in dead money. Most of that being Zach Martin.
Oh yeah.
Then you got the void years from Tank Lawrence's contract, whether he's here or not. You still got to pay him for that original deal. Then Brandon Cooks has a void year too.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think if we Aaron Jones is on this list?
I'd be willing to do
Like
it.
that?
He's in Dallas a lot.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
He's always in Dallas. I think he would love to come here. It depends, like the price. It's got to be the right price. If Rico prices yourself out, go try to see what a Nick Chubb looks like. Go see what Aaron Jones. Because Aaron Jones maybe gonna get 1 to 2 year deal.
Yeah.
Possibly. He's not going to break the bank at this point in his career.
Yeah, no.
But I think he's going to bring a lot of versatility to this, to this team and leadership. But also too, I feel like the NFL is such a copycat league.
Yeah.
What did the Detroit Lions have done? They had 2 running backs, right? How much success did that help bring to that team? That's why I've been telling people I wouldn't be shocked if Ashton Jeanty went to the Bears before the Cowboys, because what is Ben Johnson, who just came from Detroit, 2 running backs.
Yeah.
Give Ashton Jeanty with DeAndre Swift. Good luck stopping that combination.
Yeah.
And every time about Chicago was also looking at some other running backs that are going to be on the market to run that 2-back system. I mean, if you do that, you got fresh legs. You just wear the defense down.
Yeah.
Then, hopefully, Chicago fix their offensive line and to be able to, get it to your receivers. You got some good receivers out there. You got fucking DJ Moore. You just roam. So
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you talk about copycat league, man. It's tush push. People trying to get it banned. We hate the Eagles, but I mean, like, if it's working, you can't. How do you feel about the tush push?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
You hate the tush push?
I hate the tush push. We already know it's just give them the fucking first down. Let's go. Just give them the first down. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. And if I thought it was illegal to push somebody forward, then didn't I change that rule? I thought that was a rule where you couldn't push a player forward. I could be wrong, but I thought that was a rule at one point. But I think maybe they may have changed it or got around it. That's why they're able to do a tush push. It fell underneath the radar. And I'm like, fuck this shit, bro. I'm tired of seeing it, bro. I'm tired of seeing it. Now you got Buffalo was doing their type of form of a tush push too. It's just like, I get it. It works, okay? But I don't want to see it just because it works all the time, right?
Yeah.
So do you think they should ban it, though?
You down with the ban?
I don't want to say ban it. I think they need to. They got to find a way. Like, you can't. There could be a way they could, like, okay, I don't know. I just know I'm tired of seeing it. Especially as a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it doesn't help
Cowboys
that the Eagles came up
perfected
with
it.
Perfected it, yeah.
And why would you want to call it a tush push? That's suspect. Is that why y'all have the brotherly love? The city of brotherly love? Someone answer that question for me.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Well, Well, other than football, man, you touched on it lightly. What other sports you like? You like basketball?
I love basketball, baseball, boxing. Really big boxing fan. I don't know shit about hockey. The games be fun to go to, but I don't know shit about hockey. Really, it's football, basketball, baseball, boxing. I was in the UFC, but like a lot of guys I watched when they first became, a lot of those guys are going away. So it's for me, I haven't kept up with all the newer guys.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me. I will go watch it, enjoy it, but I can't tell you who's who in the UFC right now. I really can't. I guess when it's called pro wrestling, the sport, I'm definitely a fan of that. So, yeah.
Well, you touch on basketball, man. Obviously, you're a Mavericks fan. This guy,
I'm a Lakers
he's
fan,
a Lakers
so-
fan, not a bandwagoner. He's made that clear, but he's enjoying what we lost.
Sorry, man.
He's like,
It's been a rough. This has been a rough. Just what month?
the
2?
Mavericks we're cursed now, bro. Nico cursed us.
Here's
It's a therapy session, man. Y'all can let it out.
here. Here's my thoughts, okay? Okay. I understand Nico Harrison comes from like a militant background.
Okay.
He's a very shrewd businessman. The new owners, they aren't like Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was a fan first, and he was an owner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He loved his players. He loved his guys. He saw it as a business, but he didn't see it as a business at the same time, which to a degree kind of hurt the Mavericks for many years. He didn't get adequate help to, secure Dirk's prime when he should have.
Yeah.
So when Nico first came in here and he started making moves, a lot of people, oh my God, thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico. Now, I want to get something straight real quick. It was not Nico that got rid of Jalen Brunson. That was before Nico got here. So all of y'all would be commenting like, oh, he got rid of Jalen Brunson. But that was not Nico. That's before his time. Get your facts straight if you want to argue something, all right? Nico came in here. He saw Porzingis is never going to be healthy fully. Do we really want to pay this guy that's never going to be healthy? Let's get him out of here. Well, we got Spencer Dinwiddie, and I can't remember what else we got in that trade. But he was able to get off Porzingis' contract, which was a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
All right.
He had a crazy contract at that time.
Nothing wrong with Porzingis. It's just him and Luka just did not gel. Plus the injury factor, it just wasn't a fit. It was just best to move on. Instead of them waiting till it's too late to move on, he was like, let's do it now.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on. Let's peel the Band-Aid off of it now, all right? He did that. He made some of these trades where, he got you a PJ Washington. He got you Daniel Gafford, right? Team. He got you Kyrie Irving, okay? He got you a lot of pieces here, okay? Everyone praised him for that, okay? So in my mind, he gets it, not for this particular scenario. I'm like, all right, so he's earned the benefit of the doubt to a degree. Everyone's saying all this whispering and rumbling is the reason why. Okay, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. Mavericks make it to the finals. And there's a lot of people out there thinking say we lucked up getting to the finals. I don't know what your belief is on that. We got there. I don't care. I don't care what you, at the end of the day, we got to the finals.
Yeah.
What did he do in the offseason? He added players he think will complement his star player.
Yep.
Personally, I don't think it was Luke. I don't think it was Nico that really wanted to initiate this. I think they came from above. I think Nico also had, okay, man, I think he had his reserves about the way Luka is on defense. I think he did have that, and just, I had to say it, Luka bitches all the time. I love Luka to death.
Yeah, he does.
But that shit, that wears out. That wears thin. Like, how many plays you let pass you because how many, you let this man get the court, how many times has that happened? You get technicals, and that shit wears thin.
Yeah.
So if Nico is a business person and business-minded person, okay. But I think a lot of this stuff may have came from the top. Also, you got to factor that Supermax contract. You would have got $70 million a year.
Yeah.
Okay, say for instance all the conditioning shit is true. Okay? You got to think the Dallas Mavericks are employers, and Luka Doncic is an employee. So if you told your employee to do X, Y, Z, X amount of times, how many times is X, Y, Z going to be employed? Probably not too long. I get that everyone's like, yo, he's the face of the franchise, who's the shit, or whatever, whoop-de-whoop. What kind of example is that set to the rest of the locker room? Like, oh, well, if he does it, why should I? But people know, like, who's the star. Let's be honest. So we can, that you can throw that excuse out the window, too. But, okay, cool. If that's the reason why you said you wanted to trade him, I understand that. But I feel like you got a better return.
Yeah.
To let Rob Pelinka tell you, like, oh, this is a risk for us? Nigga, what fucking risk?
Yeah.
What the fuck risk you got? Like, how the fuck is a risk for y'all?
Yeah.
But unless something else is going on, I feel like there's going to be more to the story that's come out eventually.
Yeah.
We will never know. But don't get it wrong, Anthony Davis is no slouch. When he's healthy, he's great. He's fucking tremendous. Yeah. And over the last couple of seasons, how much he's been available majority of the time. He hasn't missed a lot of games over the last couple of seasons.
That's what I try to tell you, man.
And I've been telling the people, like, I'm like, AD is not no slouch.
Yeah.
I think what the main thing people are hung up on is Luka is in his prime. Mm-hmm. Or even if he's even entered his prime yet. But also you have that same argument from people like, okay, is his body going to be able to hold up even into a prime? Because I think Luka's been playing against grown-ass men since he was like, 14 years old?
Yeah.
Like, so that takes a toll on you. And when the offense, here's the thing also, too, for the Mavericks. That offense ran through Luka. It stopped through Luka. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to find you if you're open, but everything goes through him. 90% of the time. I felt like if, Anthony Davis would have got hurt and Kyrie wouldn't have got hurt, oh, my God. If none of them would have got hurt, you would have seen a lot of pick and roll between Kyrie and AD. A lot of people would have been able to touch the ball more.
Yeah.
And maybe another thing that factored into the trade, too, was, Luka has been playing, but P.J. Washington's balling right now. There's games where Klay Thompson right now is going off. Do we really want to pay this guy $70 million where we're not sure he's going to be available to us after we pay them $70 million?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, are we going to let this guy walk for nothing? Because from what it sounds like, they were going to offer him the super max.
Yeah.
Even though he wanted to say, I don't think they were going to do it. That's what it sounded like. We don't know if that's true or not. But, okay, let's get something. But I feel like you could have got a lot more.
A lot more.
You could have got a super haul.
You could have got a super haul back from him. Like I said, I like Max Christie. I think Max Christie's a baller.
Max Christie.
I think Anthony Davis, when healthy, he's top 5 player in the league. Still. Now just dealing with health now is, I don't know. It's a lot of question marks. If AD would have been healthy, Kyrie would have stayed healthy, I was like, okay, this team could make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that would have been. I feel like the team would have got better overall as a team. And I love Luka. Don't get me twisted at all. I love Luka. But from a team standpoint, the team would have got better defensively. Mm-hmm. And everyone would have got more touches, I feel like. Yeah. Everyone else's numbers would have went up.
Yeah.
But to say, it hurts. It still hurts.
Yeah.
It's like, I still wake up like, damn, nigga, we fucking traded Luka. Like,
yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my God. The day when it happened, I was like, oh my God. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My phone was blowing up that night. I was just really tired. I was like, whatever, I'll deal with it in the morning. And one of my friends that called, I saw I had a missed call from one of my friends. I'm like, I saw him call me. I was like, I'll talk to him later. For him to call me at that time of night, it had to be something really big.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. And I woke up, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, we did what?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. But we got to do something in the offseason. Yeah. You have to do something. But my biggest fear, the players will not want to come here now.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's my biggest fear.
The nature of which, like how they just got rid of Luka.
And the whole thing, because if they would have got leaked out, Luka was available for trade, it would have been mass hysteria in the league. But I don't think they wanted that shit to get out. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's we don't know. I think Nico maybe being a good soldier and falling on a sword,
Yeah.
Could be the case.
We don't know, but I know he's been trying to get guys he knows from Nike. Like Kyrie was one of his guys he knew. Mm-hmm. AD, he's one of his guys. But one of the cringe things I hate about this, he keeps comparing everybody to Kobe.
Yeah.
My God,
Yeah.
you're in Dallas.
Yeah.
Kobe is a great. Don't get me wrong, but you're in Dallas. Kobe name shouldn't hold a lot of weight here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Why aren't you missing Dirk or some shit like that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Crazy,
It's
man.
been tough, man.
Yeah.
I've never, and me and Mike have talked about this. I've just never seen like a fan base in this much disarray at the same time. It all felt the same
Bro,
way.
it was what worse could go wrong. What else could go wrong now?
Yeah.
What else could go wrong?
Yeah,
like
hey, they might as well shut down AD for the rest of the season.
that's what I said. That's like shut the whole team down. Like just see if you can get some type of a pick. I don't know. It just right now in the standings we're not that far out from playoffs, but like we're not gonna do shit in the playoffs. So why
Yeah.
let AD get healthy? And it was an ACL, right, for Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
A lot of basketball players will come back from that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've seen that before with what's his name, Wesley Matthews when he was here for a while. But Kobe's game, I mean not Kobe, Kyrie's games is predicated on his quickness. So that's what I'm afraid of. Like, is this going to be the end for him?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want that. And he's eligible for a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
will
think
he-
he's going to take it
Oh,
because I think people would be scared away to offer him.
Yeah. It's a risk for other teams to sign Kyrie off of ACL injury.
Yeah, so
True.
why not the team do it? Because I think that's what we did when we signed Wes Matthews. Because remember, that was around the year, I don't remember this, we were supposed to have DeAndre Jordan, Wes Matthews.
Oh,
they were all
yeah.
supposed to come here, and that's when he bitched out or whatever. He let whatever,
Blake
like,
Griffin.
backed out.
He got locked in the house by Doc
Yeah.
and Blake Griffin.
Dumb as shit.
and then it ended up coming to us later on. And
Yeah.
It wasn't worth nothing.
Which we ended up trading that to get Porzingis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry if my answers are long-winded. I'm sorry. I apologize
Hey, no,
about that.
we're
It's just
good,
like,
man.
oh, man.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are glad Luka off this team. You'd be surprised. There are a lot of people that are kind of glad, like, hey, I'm tired of him not playing defense and ours. That is an argument to be made in that. It's just my thing is, I feel like, fuck what the Lakers said. Press them. No, give me some more of that shit. Give me Austin Reeves. You could have. I feel like you got more.
Yeah. Picks.
Picks.
They gave up one pick for him.
Just say for Ron Pelinka, let's say it's a risk for us. I think the only risk would have been that he may not resign there.
Yeah.
That's probably the
that's
only
like
risk. Then of course if the body stuff, conditioning things, but shit, I don't give a fuck. Like if you're trying to get LeBron another ring, I guess this is gonna be the best player he's gonna ever play with, probably.
Yeah.
So it's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. I saw somewhere, some restaurant, they were giving a contest out. You can win Mavericks tickets. I'm like, who wants them shits right now? Wait, want these shits right now?
And they jacked up the season tickets next season, 8% or some shit like that.
Technically, it was like 7.7%. I don't know if anybody noticed it. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
7.7 is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
They did that on purpose.
But that's a bold move to go up on season tickets after what they.
But I mean, it's inflation.
Well, of course, yeah.
But I think it's gonna be primarily a hike like down in them lower seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Court side seats, man. But it's I don't know what you do to get the fan base back on board. I don't know what you can do.
Yeah.
And after Kyrie going down, it was just all right. This is literally the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. It's tough.
Hate to see it, man.
Bro, and just like AD was balling that his debut game.
That game,
I was like,
yeah.
what is? I was like, yes. Oh my god! And I was like, no. And I went to go somewhere, and I came back. And I was like, yeah, he's hurt. I'm like, you're fucking lying to me right now. You're lying to me right now.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I'm like, we're cursed. Like,
Yeah. That's rough.
It's tough. It's all right. Though. Well, who knows? Who knows what'll happen next with the man?
do you think Luka would ever come back to Dallas?
He has a theory.
Nico's got to go.
Oh, for sure. I feel like ownership would have to go as well too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it had to be
ownership
new
had to.
owners. I think he
And they ain't selling anytime soon.
no,
Yeah.
and they know. Like he knows it's not the fan base or the players. Obviously, like he knows we love him here. Still do.
Here's what I say. Remember, LeBron had a falling out with Cleveland,
Yeah.
and they badmouthed LeBron when he went to Miami and how he handled that situation. Whoop-de-whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they were able to patch it up, and he came back and finally won one in the land.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Luka's a guy. He's gonna hold the grudge fucking forever. Like,
Yeah.
we can be hopeful.
Yeah.
It's like the girl you fucked up with, and you're praying that, baby, give me one more chance. Like you having that hope. It's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But you're still like, I'm holding that hope. Like maybe she'll give me one more chance. I think that's where it's at with it. But I think before it's all said and done, I think he ends up in Denver.
I could see that. Now I could see that.
I could see him in Denver or somehow playing with Jokic somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, them two are going to team up now since he's not going to be in Dallas. And, oh, my God, that's hard to say still to this day. Like, we really don't fucking have Luka, bro. It's
wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, it's Mark Cuban's fault.
Yeah.
But I think Mark Cuban was smart. He got out. NBA's losing money left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a bag for shares.
What he paid to buy the Mavericks for what he sold it for, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. No brainer.
No fucking brainer. But I mean, I think if I was him, I still would have had it in my contract. I still want to be heavily involved in any major decision far as talent acquisition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he could have vetoed the shit like, nope, not fucking happening. Yeah. He definitely would have put a stop to this.
Yeah, he would.
Because he know, like, bro, what are you doing here right now? But, oh, man, it's fucking...
Well, hey, man, before we get out of here, is there anything big you got coming up that you want to talk about?
Man, I'm working on some stuff for the draft. I'll be able to tell y'all once everything gets finalized. We've been having negotiations for July draft broadcast, draft party. A couple players may have come out, pop up on it, but wait for everything to get finalized on that. Like I said, I'm probably by the time this interview is out, it should be a show I did, with Tad Prescott, Terrence Parsons Jr., Law Nation, AOC. We talked about things Cowboys, and I asked him, things about what's it like being a brother of a player, like how do you deal with the criticism, of your brothers in the media and stuff like that. And I asked him to give me some players that'll be complimentary. They think will compliment to their brothers on the east side of the ball. So Michael plays defense. I asked his brother who would be some good players you would like to see the Cowboys get to compliment your brother, and same thing for Tad, which was Dak's brother. So that was some interesting answers. I got that going on. Just doing a bunch of events, networking. Do some stuff for some of the people. They got the Millennium Tour coming to Fort Worth. So it's like Ray J, Bobby Valentino, Bow Wow, Marion, some of those, people from when I was growing, my teenage years and stuff like that. Yin Yang Twins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we do some stuff, with some of those people, some media stuff with that. Off the top of my head, man, just get ready for this draft, man. And that's really right now I can think of right now. I got so much stuff going on right now. And, helping some other people, kind of get their platforms launched, too. But that's pretty much it, man. Celebrating 5 years all year of Ray Ray's podcast, which is such a blessing, man. And I'm thankful every day for it, that I'm able to do it, that I have an audience. They tune in for fucking 5 years. So I greatly appreciate that. And like I said, appreciate y'all. And like I said, I see y'all in here grinding, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see what y'all doing. Y'all are at it. Y'all are consistent with it. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people come and go from the studio. So, but y'all at it, So stay right on target with it.
Hey, even in the year and a half that we've been doing it, we've seen a lot of people come and go already. So
it happens,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
But shout out to you, man. 5 years is a long time. That's great.
That's definitely an accomplishment,
That's
man.
an accomplishment.
What do you feel like the next 5 years has in store for you?
Ooh,
Well, that's a good one.
if I have my way, next 5 years, I want to partner up with Hello Studios, build up a bunch of other studios in other cities. I want to have my own network and have a bunch of other podcasts and media company, other podcasts underneath me. Kind of like how Shannon Sharp is doing. He's taking he has a media company, he has other podcasts underneath from Umbrella. I would like to do that. Eventually, I'm going to I don't know. I don't want to be in front of the microphone as much. I want to be more behind the scenes type situation.
Yeah.
Essentially, I want to be a record company for podcasts.
Okay.
Okay.
That's something I would like to be. Hopefully, by then, tapped into movies. Helping direct, produce movies and stuff like that. Maybe a record company. Event company. So many different things. You ever heard like National Lampoon?
Yeah.
And then National Lampoon this. We got Ray Ray's this. Ray Ray's Sports. We got Ray Ray's this. So we're gonna do that. Everything underneath the Ray Ray's umbrella, but not me actually doing all that shit. No.
Just your name on it.
Just the name a part of it.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Ray Ray's, but it's such and such. That's something I would like to have in the next 5 years. Tapping in with you guys, maybe coming back, again once a year, right on target or have some target talk with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Doing that. And we got to get y'all on Ray Ray's podcast, by the way, too. We got to get that set up.
For sure.
It's just y'all record at nighttime, boy. I just like to come in here during the day and get in and get out before
We
that chat. Do
We
it.
can work something out, man.
We'll work
something out.
Yeah.
We'll get that done. We can talk some football and stuff again.
Yeah.
Well, I can talk football all day, every day.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
As you can tell, I didn't even really touch on some of the stuff I really wanted to touch on, but that's where I see it, man. Hopefully, just alive, blessed, and healthy. Yeah. That's really all I can ask for, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure, man. Well, we're looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward to seeing your growth, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I give shorter answers next time. So
Nah.
it's just weird to be on the other side now of this.
Yeah.
Like when you do all the questions and stuff like that, it's really all about the guests. And I really try not to talk too much. Let them really kind of talk. I feel like it's more, for me, it's not more of an interview. It's more of a conversation I like to have.
Yeah.
And people get that twisted, man. It's like, just let it flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to have some points that you want to talk about. But let the conversation go where the conversation goes sometimes. Sometimes it's like you get some of your best content, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of like what we want. Just like that's why we don't like long answers. That doesn't bother us. Be yourselves. Like be comfortable with what you're doing. Like just let it flow, and we'll work with you.
We literally just chopping it up in here, man. It ain't like that.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure, man. But hey, before we get out of here, tell the people where they can find you at, man.
Man, what's up, people? What's up, people? All right, if you want to check me out, I'm gonna give you a couple things to check out. All right, my personal Instagram is RayBands972. That's RayBandz 972. The podcast Instagram is gonna be RayRays _podcast on Instagram. YouTube RayRays podcast, but make it simple. Just go to rayrayspodcast.com. You can find everything you need to find. It'll direct you to wherever you want to direct. Some people are very specific where they listen to stuff or watch stuff. It'll get you where you need to get by just going to the website. Yeah, just do that. Check that out. Please like, subscribe, follow, give me a comment, message me. If you got any comments, concerns, griefs, beefs, whatever, I got time. But no. For real, just thank you, and thank y'all so much for giving me this opportunity and giving me your time today.
Of course,
Yeah,
man.
we appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Until next time, man.
We out.
All right.